Okay, we're going to videotape how to assemble the quick release mechanism on a Paintfalls reel. I use a universal design across all the different reels, whether it's a custom or a production reel, so this will apply. Sometimes, as you may be in a situation now, you took it apart to clean it and you can't figure out how to get back together. We're going to go over the components. When you take this quick release mechanism apart, it will, I call it grenade on you. When you take it apart, no matter how you take it apart, the parts are not going to be aligned or in a fashion of how it should go back together. So what you'll have is a quick release lever, and it should have a quick release. It should have the rotating pin on it. If it does not, that means that it came loose from the lever and you've dropped it. If that's the case and you can't find it, contact me. I can shoot another one out to you, no problem. You have the clicker spring, the release hub, and 2 screws. First thing you do is you take and orient the spool so that way you have the bolt holes, which are threaded, sitting left and right, and then the pivot hole above the right thread, and this hole is not tapped. You take your quick release lever and you rotate it so that way the pivot point is on the right and the notch faces up. You put it in the reel like so. From there, you rotate this lever so that way it really goes across the bearing, right across the center axis of the bearing.
And splits the holes diagonally.
Right. Then the spring, I call it the Pac-Man, the open side of the spring, it faces the left. And I'm speaking in relationship to my orientation, not the camera's. So you see it like that. Then the next thing you do is you take your release cap and you find the notch that's in it. And it's going to be on the left side. But what you do is you don't locate it where it would be once it's assembled. You locate it so that way you don't disturb the spring sitting on the spool. And you just place it over top, like so. And then if you move it around, you'll feel it pick up on the lip that I've machined into the spool. And then you would rotate it counterclockwise, and as you see, as I rotate it clockwise and line up the holes between the cap and the spool, the quick release lever will then stick out. You put the machine screws back in, and you don't tighten it down. You take it about maybe a full turn before you tighten it, and then you'd go ahead and put the other screw in. Okay, and then at this point you just snug it up, and we're going to check to make sure the quick release engages properly. You can see that it's snapping back into place. If it does not return back up against this brass, there's something wrong with the assembly. You repeat the steps, and then you can even further test it to make sure it fits back on the reel, back on the back plate and the shaft, excuse me. Just like so. So we know that is correct, and then just do the final tightening. And I don't like tightening all these screws very tight because at some point you may have to go back in. You know, halfway between snug and wrenching on it is where I take it, and that's all you need to do. Done.